Besides text, images are one of the most visually important items on a web page. Understanding how to insert images into a web page is vital to creating a good-looking page for others to view. Let's insert an image into our web page. I'm beginning this video with the inserting_images.html file already open on my computer. And what I want to do here is below the header, I want to insert an image that's going to take up the middle portion of my web page. Now, as I said before, in design view, when a div doesn't have any content, it can be really difficult to see in this view. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to code view. So I'm going to go ahead and click on code view. And you'll notice that we have the content div that's opening up that main section. And the teaser div down here is where we have all of our flavor information and our takeout information. But in this div right here, we have a div that's called top. And that's where I want to insert my image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor within the opening and closing div elements. And with my cursor there, we're going to insert an image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the common tab of my insert bar. And I'm going to click on the image button. Now, if for whatever reason you see a different icon than this one here, simply click on the arrow and then choose image from the drop-down. The way that these buttons work is they remember the last choice that was chosen within the drop-down menu. So we're going to make sure that we just choose image in this case either way. So I'll go ahead and choose image, and it should navigate to the images folder within my 05_images chapter folder. And we're going to select this file called happyhour.jpg. Now, the JPG extension stands for JPEG, and the basic web formats that you're likely to experience when working with images on the web is JPEG, GIF, and PNG. Now, I don't have any GIF images in this example, but to give you a brief explanation, JPEG is best used for continuous tone images, essentially photos. And GIF images, which we do not have here, are best used for things like logos or areas of solid color within an image. So, for example, artwork that's being created for logos and other illustration type things. If the image has a lot of solid colored areas, that's a great choice for a GIF file. Now, the PNG format, which is a little bit newer, offers a lot of the same features of both GIF and JPEG, but in one common format. So the PNG format can be divided into both 8-bit and 16-bit. The 8-bit PNG is best used for, again, areas of solid color, where the 16-bit PNG file is best used for continuous tone images. So that's just a brief description of why you use some of the different formats. So with happyhour.jpg selected, I'm going to go ahead and click open. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to get the image tag accessibility attributes dialog box that opens. And what this allows you to do is enter some alternate text for the image. Now, what does alternate text do? Well, it does a couple of things. It describes the image itself. And you may be wondering why you would need to do that. Well, the term accessibility refers to people with visual impairments. And users who have visual impairments basically browse the web in a different way. They use a screen reader that reads the information aloud to them. And if you insert an image that does not have any alternate text, it's really just a blank slate to those users. There's really nothing that they can gain from that image. The other useful component of alternate text is that it's also used by search engines to index the content of your website, which can help you to rank better when all of the items of your website have been tagged or have been identified properly. So for alternate text, I'm just going to go ahead and type happy hour. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now, one other thing I'll point out here is that if this were an image of something notable, for example, Abraham Lincoln, and you wanted to describe a long description about Abraham Lincoln, you could point the user to a website that they could navigate to gain more information. So for now, we're going to leave that blank. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And you'll notice that that inserted the image within that top div. And by default, it is going to insert the image tag with a source attribute identifying where the image is located. And then it's also going to add the alt attribute, which we had added earlier for alternate text. And it's also going to add a width and height attribute. So this is basically the width and height of the image as it exists right now. If you wanted to double check, you'll notice down here in the assets panel, the happyhour.jpg file is 886 by 418. And you'll notice that that is represented within the width and height attributes. So if we switch over to the design view, we're going to notice that that image has now been inserted inside of my web page and is located where I want it to be and is taking up the space, or I should say expanding that div and pushing my teaser information down further on the page. The key to working with images in a web page is to understand which format is appropriate for the image type and to size the images prior to inserting them into your web page. This will provide for a good experience to the end user.